champion of the NASCAR Beginner for his iRacing series.
I would like to welcome you all into round number 2. Let's fix that quickly. Of the Skyline Custom Skip Barber series. We are here for round number 2 at Myrtle Beach Speedway. This is one of the greatest short tracks in the country. Arguably one of the best that's not on the NASCAR. One of the top 3 NASCAR Cup series, or top 3 series schedules. But this is one of the home tracks of legendary NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr., who likes to run late models here from time to time, so this is where drivers will really cut their teeth. But this time we aren't here in the stock cars, we are here in the Skip Barber open wheel cars, so we're going to have a fun one. No cautions on tonight, but after race number 1, let's take a look at the points standings. So, right up here, so as you can see, number 69, Curtis Granger, after that win, he's going to be on pole. And it looks like we're going to jump straight into the race. We're not even going to go with full 10 minutes of qualifying. So, but there, as you can see, there is the point standings. So Stiegel Edits Racing Boys got, with Curtis Granger's win, got 25 points. They only take the points of the highest scoring car. I will add that. So in case a team does not have both drivers there, it does not matter. Only the top driver's points will count. So a 1-2 finish then, or for that top finish there from the 69 car of Curtis Granger gets him the Stiegel Edits Racing Boys top spot in the standings, as you can see everybody else. And as we begin to roll off, we will go down. I'm very sorry about the lag, guys. iRacing is giving me some issues right now. Can't really control it. We're going to zoom out here as they do their pace laps. Hopefully my timing and scoring will fix itself as they come across the line. If not, I guess it won't, unfortunately, so I can't give you guys a rundown, but you will see everybody shape out as they come across the line. Here we go, the pace car is off. Estimating about 56 laps of racing here. No cautions. This is going to be an interesting one. Green flag is out, and we are racing here. They look relatively clean through turn number 1. They're all going to shape out just all fine and dandy. We'll skip to the front here. Grayson Trexler following up Andrew Ramos, and Andrew Ramos off to a great start after qualifying on pole. And they're right underneath underneath him is Corey Hartz. Corey Hartz is going to go for the second spot on the podium. Here early in the early goings of this race, 56 laps estimated here. Oh, and we got a car with a half spin back there. I think he saved it. It was the 03 car of Gavin Ropkin, and after a great opening round for him, he's going to find himself at the back, and Andrew Ramos is up front. Only driver from the podium from last race in the top 3 is Curtis Granger, and he is knocking on the door with these leaders. Corey Hart's going to go underneath Andrew Ramos, but the outside line is going to be a great line to defend with. As you can see, everybody pan through the field. Still side-by-side battling here for the lead. We're going to stick with this. Looks like most cars are clean out here. We're having some linking issues with Andrew Ramos, so we're going to focus in on Curtis Granger here. Got a couple packs of 3 forming. Oh, there might have been a little bit of contact there. If not, it was very, very close. But Curtis Granger is trying to bide his time. Hopefully he can get by Andrew Ramos and set up a pass on Corey Hartz. And it looks like Dylan Alt and Paul Johnson is going to find themselves into this battle. Got 5-car breakaway here at the front, 4 cars at the back. And 2 cars have fallen off the pace entirely. Dylan Alt's going to go to the inside of Curtis Granger. Oh, everybody's in and out. Do apologize about this, ladies and gentlemen, but it is out of my control. Three wide going into turn number 1. And oh, the 69 all out of sorts. Oh, he made contact with the wall. His night is probably going to be over. And here's Paul Johnson. He got screwed out of the pole. And Corey Hartz and Andrew Ramos get taken out. It's now a top 2 pack with Paul Johnson and Dylan Alt. Very close maneuver there for Dylan Alt as he slides himself underneath Paul Johnson. Oh, there's a smoking car on the apron. I believe that was Andrew Ramos. His night is well and truly over, along with Corey Hartz. So we are down to just 9 runners here. Paul Johnson, a little out of sorts coming out of the corner, is going to allow Dylan Alt to jump underneath. We are a quarter of the way into this race. And it's these two battling up front. We're going to skip back here a little ways to Jared Bell. He's right in the thick of things. He's trying to hunt down Curtis Granger. Here's the 03 car of Gavin Ropkin, and after his early mistakes, he finds himself back in 7th. No driver who finished on the podium last race Or no, correction. Dylan Alt finished second last race. He is the only driver from the podium in race 1 to be on the podium as of right now in race number 2. Looks like they got the lap car of Andrew Ramos they need to deal with. He is already 1 lap down, fighting to stay only 2. Jump back in the pack a little ways. Let's check on another battle here. Jared Bell is coming under pressure from Gavin Ropkin. He's trying to fight his way back up through the field. There you see Corey Hart's coming out of the pit lane. He is 5 laps back. And it looks like they have handled Andrew Ramos. He is now 2 laps back, and he's going to try to put up a fight to keep it, to try to go back 1 lap down. But looks like the Zero Esports car of Paul Johnson is going to clear him quite easily. 20 laps in, Dylan Alt, or 20 laps, lap 20. We are on lap 20, Dylan Alt out in front, Paul Johnson P2, and all the way back here is 3rd place car Grayson Trexler. He's found himself in a good spot. He's kind of out in no man's land at the moment. Hopefully he can hold on and get himself some quality points finish here. We're going to stick with this battle up front. Dylan Alt and Paul Johnson still going at it. These guys are wheeling these cars around this short, I believe it's a 3/8 mile speedway, but I could be wrong if somebody would correct me. Looks like Gavin Ropkin has gotten around Jared Bell, who is now coming under pressure from the cars of Carl Faust and Curtis Granger with the Stiegel Edit Racing Boys. But 4-car battle erupting here. Mitchell Robertson all out on his own, same with Grayson Trexler, and back up front here, and they're coming up to lap, I believe that is the 57 once again of Corey Hart, so he's got a lot of damage on that machine. He probably took his fast repair, but not going to be enough. He's just well and truly off the pace of the leaders. Dylan Alt 26 laps on those tires as we approach the halfway point. We will be halfway through this race next time by. Like Dylan Alt is starting to stretch it a little bit next time by. I apologize, we'll be halfway. But right there is your 10-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. So 57 laps is going to be completed here tonight. So we are right about the halfway point. This is when we're going to start to see cars start to come down pit lane. And it looks like the first car is in Andrew Ramos. He's going to try to cut down that pit lane as much as possible. Paul Johnson has also hit pit lane. So Paul Johnson is definitely going to go a couple laps down just because of how long it takes to get through the pit lane here. Dylan Alt is going to want to try to put him as many laps down as possible to get that buffer zone built up. There is Paul right there. There is Dylan going into turn number 1. We're going to see. And Paul Johnson is now coming off pit road. So Paul is at least 1 lap down after these pit stops. And Dylan Alt might want to keep running with that shorter tank of gas. Or that lower tank of gas. Run it as low as possible. And fill it with just enough. And we got 3 more cars in pit lane. Grayson Trexler, Carl Faust, Curtis Granger, and Gavin Chopkins. So 2 cars stayed out, have not pitted yet. 4 cars, I apologize. Never mind, there is Dylan Alt on pit lane. And he might be out. It is very, very silent. But that could just be because of how far away we are. He's coasting into his pit stall. And the car to watch right now is going to be Paul Johnson, who's back on pit road. He wrecked it coming out of the pits. Dylan Alt is going to be your effective race leader. We're going to have to see where Mitchell Robertson comes out in all this. But Dylan Alt has found himself with a huge gap over Grayson Trexler. There is Grayson now exiting turn number 2, while Dylan Alt is well into turn 3. Dylan Alt is well out in front with this thing with only 7.5 minutes left in this race. Nick Pruitt now on pit lane. This will hand the effective lead of the race back to Dylan Alt. Rounding out the corner, he's going to get by him. And Dylan Alt back into the lead. Grayson Trexler second, Curtis Granger in third. Well, not so quick fast now. Curtis Granger still got a couple of cars he's battling with here. Carl Faust and not Jared Bell. That is a lap car. So Curtis Granger and Carl Faust fighting over that last step on the podium. We are down to just 5 cars on the lead lap. Jared P. Bell as that last car. 8 cars are still on the track at the moment. But at this point, this is Dylan Alt's race to lose. Who is still 4.5 seconds out in front of Grayson Trexler. So we're going to stick with this battle right here. With Curtis Granger and Carl Faust, the 2 teammates. Because this is the closest battle on the racetrack. Coming up to 5 minutes left in this race, ladies and gentlemen. They won't get that much further. We know Dylan Alt's good on fuel. He went well past the limit that he needed to pit. So we know everybody can make it on fuel. The question is, the question really is, will anybody wreck themselves out between now and the end of this race? Back up front here to Dylan Alt, who has extended his lead here at the front up to 5.2 seconds. to Grayson Trexler. Down to just 7 cars on the track. Mitchell Robertson has pulled into the pits. 2 cars are a lap down. Nick Pruitt and Gavin Ropkin. There is Nick. There is Gavin. So those two are pretty separated on track. We're going to pop back to the... Really, nobody has a close battle going on right now. Carl Faust and Jared Bell do. But Jared is a lap down, so really... This fight is all for nothing. Just for a little bit of pity points, I guess. Or never mind, I'm sorry, that's Dylan Alt putting Jared Bell a lap down. So we're down to just 4 cars on the lead lap. With Dylan Alt across the line this time, he will have about 2.5 minutes left in this race. Expecting about 10 more laps out of it, and he comes home a winner in just round number 2 of the championship. Looks like Grayson Trexler has wrecked the car as well. We are now down to Curtis Granger and Carl Faust. Only 3 cars left on the lead lap. These are your 3 cars on the podium. 2 of them are the same from last race. 1 of them new. Carl Faust, you are looking at him right now. And while Dylan is so far out in front, let's take a ride on board with him. Just listen to the pressure and the sliding of the tires as he goes through these corners. Gotta have a lot of control over these cars. As we come up to 1 minute to go here in the race. 1 minute to go plus a lap, I should say. There is your second place car. Curtis Granger won the last race. Curtis and Dylan will win this race. These two will draw even in the points, assuming the results hold. And Carl Faust will find himself a better points finish in this one, as he will probably be the last car to finish on the lead lap. 13 seconds left to go. We will get 2 more laps done. As we come around next time, we will get the white flag in the race. Or I believe that might be it. Dylan Alt has just won. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan Alt has won today's race. Curtis Granger second. Carl Faust third. I was expecting an extra lap to be added on there, but I suppose not. Congratulations to Dylan. I hope to get an interview with them all here in just a little bit. He was well out in front. You can just now see Curtis pulling up to the podium. And following him up is Carl Faust. Congratulations to all of them today. The Stiegelitis Racing crew did a fantastic job. They should be well and truly out in front in the championship. And we will start with our race winner. Dylan, it's Andrew Combs in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yep.
Well, came up just short in the first race, and you find yourself on the top step of the podium in the next race. What a performance! Tell us about your race today.
It was fun. The setup, it was just baseline stuff, which is crazy, but the setup was actually really fun to drive because it was really loose on cold tires, and then it started getting better throughout the longer run, and then I don't know, I just went from the back and went all the way up to the front trying to pass other people, and in many packs, and they started wrecking each other, and I somehow Paul, I don't know what happened to him, but he probably had this win in the bag because he pitted early because he probably knew that the Skip Barber car was gonna like, because when it was running out of fuel, it was like kept gassing up and then slowing down the car, so I couldn't really go full throttle, and I lost a lot of time. But I don't know what happened to him, and he just left the race. But so I just ran away with it, and Grayson, it sucked for him because his computer just dies out on him at the end of the race, and he could have had that second place finish, but finished seventh. So overall, it was like a fun race.
Well, you did comment on the tires. Were the tires really bad out there? Or tell us about the tires a little bit, because I'm a little new to these cars as well.
So when I had a draft, it was I would get really fast times, and it was just getting faster laps every single lap, except sometimes it would just be the same lap every single time. But it didn't get worse. It got better, actually, throughout the long run.
Well, now you've drawn even with Curtis Granger in the championship. Do you think he's going to be step by step with you the whole season?
I don't know what you just said there. You cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have now drawn even in points with Curtis Granger. Do you think you're going to be step by step with him this whole season?
Maybe because he has a lot of consistency. I can see him at the end of the championship trying to battle for that points lead. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your win tonight. Go ahead and go celebrate.
Thank you. I don't even know if I can do burnouts in these cars. They don't. No powerful.
And we will move in here, Curtis Granger. Curtis, it's Andrew Combs in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Well, Curtis, already spoken to you once tonight. You were on the top step
Yep.
of the podium. Now this time on the second step of the podium. Tell us about your race today.
Well, I was in the lead group. Had a good battle with Corey, Andrew, and then Dylan and Paul. Paul got to my inside, and I decided to stuff it into the outside wall and give myself wheel damage. So that really screwed myself over. I made a okay save. I should have died, but I didn't. And I kept going, kept pushing on, and I fell back to probably about 6th or 7th. And then everyone else just started falling apart, and I found myself up in second. So it was an interesting race. I didn't see much because the lap before the incident with the 2 leaders, I was right after I killed myself. So I wasn't really aware that was going to happen. It kind of surprised me when I lost a bunch of spots and I gained 2 more all of a sudden.
So you did have a little bit of a battle in the early going with your teammate, Carl Faust. Did you just pull away with a little bit of speed, or did you end up was it a team orders thing that just you stay in front and he stay behind you?
Well, I wanted to follow him for a little bit, but we both knew that I was faster, and it was probably going to be faster if he were to just stay in my draft. Maybe we could have caught who was in second at the time. Um, and he stayed with me for a bit, but eventually I started pulling away. But we managed to both finish on the podium, so our team did a really good job. We should be points in the constructor standings, which is super exciting. Along with, I believe I'm tied for first in points with Dylan. So first week of the season, it's been really fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
So you did bring up the points. I asked Dylan the same question, but seems like so far you two are the cars of the beat. You two think you'll be step by step with each other?
No, because he is really good in comparison to me. He was way faster than me at Summit Point, but he had a few issues early in the going, and I found myself really lucky in not making any mistakes. So I only got the win from that. So I'm really scared if he does every race because he is super good at both ovals and the road courses.
Well, a double podium for you this weekend, and I hope to see you back here next weekend.
Sounds good.
And we're going to move in our last podium finisher, Mr. Carl Faust.
Yep.
Carl, it's
Hello?
Andrew Combs in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Yep, gotcha.
Well, first time I get to talk to you tonight. How does it feel to finally finish on the podium in just 2 races here?
It's really nice to start the year off with a nice finish like this, even if, the other drivers crashed out. It's a good, start to build off of, and hopefully we can turn that into the win either next week at Concord or later into the year.
So, you had, I don't really want to belittle your race, but it was relatively boring. Would you agree with me in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, other than, at the start when I kind of ran in with Jared and, had a battle with Gavin. After that, probably after the first 10 laps, it did kind of get kind of boring, and it was just me and my teammate Kurt kind of driving around and seeing what worked and what didn't. So I would agree with that. Yes.
So a good, solid third place finish for you. Talk about you and your teammate a little bit, Mr. Chris Green. You guys got a good relationship going right now. You've been doing well in these first 2 races.
Yeah, I think we got a good relationship. We met around the end of the year last year, and since then we've talked a lot every day, and have built our chemistry together, whether it's through the building of the paint scheme or just on track practice. So I think we have a pretty good relationship that can carry on down the stretch and hopefully bring home this team a championship.
Now, you did bring up the championship, and that was my next question. These two, Curtis Granger and Dylan Alt, have now drawn on points after 2 rounds. Do you think you could be a car that could be up there challenging for the championship and even the Constructors Championship?
I think with the Constructors, we have a good chance, a good pair, but just for the single driver, I think I have a good, get a little faster and get some more practice time in. But all in all, I think I can put up kind of what I did last year with second place in the points, and hopefully I can bring it home this year.